Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another PlayStation 4 video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the major 2.0 update that dropped on October the 28th. Now this update promises to bring a whole host of new features to PlayStation 4, and I'm going to run through those in more detail right now. So, first up, let's kick it off with something that is close to my heart, customization. Massive fan of customization, and I'm all about personalizing my console, my experience, and all that stuff like that. So, themes have been with PlayStation 3 for donkey's years, have recently hit PlayStation Vita, and now PlayStation 4 is following suit. You can now have themes for your PlayStation 4 so that your XMB doesn't look quite so boring. First up, if you go to the settings page and you then scroll down to themes, you will find the first thing you'll see is the flow, the kind of default theme, but if you click on that, you will see there are now different colours to choose from. All those colours will now be scrolling in the background. On top of that, what you will normally also see here, if you haven't purchased any themes or downloaded any free ones, then there should also be a button here that will allow you to search for more themes. This will then launch the PlayStation Shop. You will then go through and look at the themes there. Currently this isn't showing up for those of us in Europe or the US, at least the last time I checked, which was about an hour ago. But this will be rolling out over the next sort of day or so, things like that. But right now I do know that that option is available in Japan and Hong Kong. So if you do have Japanese or Hong Kong accounts, you can jump over and check them out there. Now, that doesn't mean to say that the themes are not available, however. If you jump over to a web browser, sign in and jump on the PlayStation Shop from there, you can do a search for themes, filter it by PS4, and you will find the 3 free themes that you can download. That will include the paper cutout one, the spiral one, and the rectangular one. You can then download them from the website, send them to your PS4, and they will still download. So do not despair. If you are in a country or a region that doesn't currently have the themes in the shop, or doesn't have the option to browse for more themes from the themes page, then just jump over to a web browser, download them from there, and you can still get them. What you're now going to see in the background, I'm going to scroll through the 3 new themes, start off with spiral, then jump over to paper cutout, and then to rectangular. Now pay attention to the fact that they all have their own bespoke sounds when scrolling through the different tiles. They also have bespoke music that plays in the background, and they obviously have an animated background as well. My personal favourite has to be the rectangular one. I just like the whole sort of minimalist approach, but otherwise I do like the whole kind of paper cutout one. It's got that whole sort of, tearaway / Little Big Planet vibe. So that is, or those are the themes. As and when obviously more themes come out, I will let you know. And obviously right now these are free, but it is a given that over time you will be able to buy extra themes that will obviously coincide with game IPs and the like. Anyway, moving on from themes and colours, the next big feature is SharePlay. This is the other thing they are pushing in this update. Now SharePlay is a really interesting feature. It allows you to effectively share sort of a segment of your game, your kind of gaming experience, with your friend who doesn't necessarily have that game. So say for example you have a game that you really enjoy and you're trying to convince your friend to buy it and they're like, oh, I don't know whether I want to buy it. What you then do is jump on SharePlay, let them watch the game, let them even take part in the game. If it's multiplayer, they can play alongside you, or if it's single player, they can take control and try it out themselves, and that way they can get a taste for the game and they can then go off and buy it afterwards. SharePlay does only let you try out for a limited period of time, so they can't actually play through the entire game for you, but they can at least sort of get a little taster of the game. So let me give you a little demo of this in action. First up, if you are the one sharing, then right now, for example, I'm in Killzone, and if I then press the share button, there's now a new option which says SharePlay. If I then scroll to the right and I hit share play, it will then start a party and I can then invite someone. So I'm going to invite 269, who's then going to accept, and then afterwards he can then jump in and from his screen he's then watching. What I can then do is bring up the share menu again and I can then select an option that gives him control. If I then jump back in the game, what you're seeing right now, and obviously this isn't actually that clear to watch from the video because obviously you can't see my hands, but right now I'm not holding the controller. This is 269 controlling and he is actually remotely from his house playing my game. So this way he can kind of test it out and see how it goes. Now let me switch perspectives so you guys can see what it actually looks like on the other end. So right now 269 is playing Infamous, he's now invited me, I'm going to accept that invite. And then when he gives me control, I am now running around in his game and I'm sort of like, you know, freely sort of testing it out and trying it out. Now, depending on where you are, 269 did find when he was playing or watching me play Killzone, he did say the lag was pretty bad, but then when I was playing Infamous, it was actually pretty good. So I think it kind of, you know, it will vary depending on connections and whatnot. But either way, that is SharePlay. You can now share your experience, share your game, and you can either spectate or you can actually play for yourself. As I said, if the game is single player, then you have the option to either take control or to watch. But if it is multiplayer, something like Battlefield, your friend can actually jump in with you and play alongside you. Then while on the topic of sharing, you can also now share your clips directly to YouTube. When you press the share button in-game and you capture a clip, you then have the option typically to share it to somewhere like Facebook, but instead there is now an option for YouTube. If you select that, it will then make you connect your account, so you then go in, put in your password details, select the account you want to connect with, and once you connect, you can then upload directly to your channel. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate the whole process here because right now, whenever I try and do it, in the last authentication phase, I keep hitting an error code. So I'm guessing it's because obviously PlayStation Network right now seems to be having some sort of issues. But once you get past that, the principle is still the same. Either way, you go to share and instead of selecting Facebook, you select YouTube and you can upload directly to your channel. In addition to that, while on the topic of YouTube, there is also now a YouTube app. Again, I can't actually demonstrate this because in order to run the YouTube app, I need to enable HDCP, and HDCP, for those of you that don't know what that is basically a protection that prevents me from recording the screen. So as soon as I turn it on, my capture card will no longer work, and therefore you will not be able to see the YouTube app. So you'll have to take my word for it, but there is a YouTube app that you can now download, and you can browse YouTube videos from your PlayStation without having to go onto a web browser. So those are the key kind of big pillars in the new update, but there are a few other things as well. Some of these are more sort of things I'm just going to kind of gloss over just so you can kind of sort of like know about them. But there have been some enhancements for live broadcasting. The key things are that search filters and archive broadcast support has been added to live from PlayStation. In addition to that, there have been some changes to the content area and your library. It's now easier to access your content from the redesigned content area, and there's also improved filter and sort functions for the PS4 library. In addition to that, you can also play music from a USB stick now. So if you insert a USB stick, you can then select and play music in your PS4 right from that there. It is worth noting that you can't copy the music off to your PlayStation 4 right now, but you can still play it from the stick. And finally, there's also an addition to the What's New section. Supposedly, I didn't actually see this right now, but I guess that's because the people that I'm friends with are also friends with the people that I'm also friends with, but there's supposed to be an addition to your activity feed whereby it will suggest friends of friends. So for example, if there's a friend that your friend plays with quite a lot and they're not on your friends list, it might say, hey, you should consider adding this person. Kind of like a friend recommendation system, sort of like how it works on Facebook. Either way, that is something they've also added to the activity feed, but all of those things are kind of like, you know, slightly smaller, you know, minor updates, but the key pillars right at the start are the things that I went through at the beginning. So themes and colors for your home screen, share play, and direct upload to YouTube. So if you want to see the full list of changes that came to the 2.0 update, I will leave a link to the PlayStation blog in the description box down below. But aside from that, that is your overview for 2.0. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit the like button and show your support. That does really help me out, and obviously don't forget to subscribe for daily gaming videos. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think of the latest update. Have you got any of the themes, and if so, which one are you using? Thanks again for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.